I joined Xanderjam 6 as soon as it was available to join, and then instantly forgot about it. I kept working on my other project and didn't realize it was about to start until about a week prior. It really snuck up on me. I decided to do it anyway since I hadn't done a game jam in a while, and so I waited. The jam started while I was at school, so I sneakily watched the theme reveal. I actually asked my teacher first, don't get mad. The theme was...
The theme for Xanderjam 6 is... Survival of the Fittest.
I immediately began thinking of a Battle Royale style game, but there were already so many of those, so I needed a way to make it unique. I started asking my video game design classmates for some ideas, and none of them really had anything good. I eventually came to the conclusion of making a simplistic game that would have random events happen as you played. The graphics would consist of a triangle, a square, a circle, and the grid background. But I also wanted this game to have a lot of juice with nice particle effects, sound effects, and post-processing. So as soon as I got home, I started working on the game. The first thing I did was make the player. I could have just used Unity's default triangle sprite, but I decided to make my own with a little outline. I think it looks pretty nice. Then I brought in the sprite to Unity and made it a very simple movement script. After that, I moved on to shooting. It's very basic here, just instantiating a little yellow circle at the top of the player. But with bullets, you need something to shoot, right? I then made an enemy sprite, which is just a red square with an outline. Next, I brought my vision of a grid background to reality by drawing one in a sprite and duplicating it a few times in Unity. I think it looks awesome. On Friday, I started with adding some post-processing. It's basically just something that makes your game look 10 times better. I also made it so you can't go past the edge of the map. Next, I made the bullet actually destroy the enemy, as well as made a nice juicy particle effect. But just destroying squares that don't move isn't very fun, so I added a simple script that will move the enemies towards a target, either player or enemy, and stop at a certain random distance. They'll also consistently shoot whenever they have a target. After that, I needed to make them spawn in the world. I wrote a very simple script that just instantiates them at a random world position. Saturday, I started early and made a new trail for the bullets. I think it makes them stand out a lot more against the also bright background. At this point, the game was already really fun and I couldn't stop playtesting. After a little bit of playing around, I decided to make it so the bullets can kill the player as well. It just does the same thing with the enemy and also has a little UI. You can still move around after you die as a ghost to watch the battles occur, or just go back to the main menu. I also made some sound effects with JSFXR and put them into the game. Afterwards, I went on a 20-mile bike ride because it was a beautiful day. Because of this, I didn't get a lot done, but I did get a head start on the event system for the game. Each event has a name, subtext, color, and variables to change. The event manager reads these and does a bunch of stuff with them. Sunday was the day I got the game pretty much finished, so prepare for a lot of stuff. First, I made a text pop-up using the first 3 variables in the event scriptable object. I even animated it so it looks really smooth. Then I thought I should give the player a little warning before the enemy spawn, so I made a little pop-up animation where the enemy won't do anything for around 0.4 seconds. I also recorded this little game where I kept getting the machine gun upgrade, and it was very fun. After that, I made a really nice effect for the dash ability I made. I think it looks really nice and it was really simple to make. I finally decided to make a score system too. Every kill is worth 100 points and a few events give you points as well. At this point in the game, score has no meaning other than just a tracker of how many enemies you have killed. And for added juice, I made a little screen shake. It isn't very noticeable, but I think it looks really nice. Then for some added humor, I made random death messages that appear when you die, usually insulting you. In total, there are 35 different messages you can get. And the last thing I did on Sunday was make a main menu with settings, a tutorial, and a play button. I think it looks really nice and I have a really cool transition into the game. On Monday, not much was done. I slightly improved AI by making them rotate around their target when they have reached their stopping distance, which can make them dodge bullets or get stuck in infinite battles until someone comes and breaks it up. And then I made a feature that this game really needs, a leaderboard. I've never done one of these before, but it was really easy following the short tutorial I found, link in the description. It only works in the downloadable version, so if you want to upload your amazing scores, you need to download it. Tuesday was really the last day I worked on the game. I added some more sound effects and music. The game was pretty much complete. When I uploaded it, I forgot to change the timer for events back to normal after I had made it fast for testing. So all throughout Wednesday, events were happening really fast. So that afternoon, I changed it back to normal and also added an option in the settings for menu to turn the crazy mode back on. So that's pretty much the entire game. I think it's probably one of my best games and definitely has room for expansion if I so desire. I don't think I'll do too much more with it as my code is really messy, but if I do ever want to make a multiplayer game, I'll probably come back to this and reorganize the code. I think it's about time to end the video. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.